G'day Bomber fans, how you going? Well, there's a bit of news going on at Bomberland right now. We've got some VFL news, some NGA news. We're going to talk about training and injuries. I'm going to try and set the world record for the quickest everything Essendon video today. This one is only going to be 2 hours long. Let's just get right into it. Alrighty, let's kick off the news update as we often do with a cheeky little training report, because this time of the year is a really good time of the year to talk about training, or it's starting to become a good time of the year to talk about training. We are starting to get match sim, which is great. You know, it's all well and good to talk about how players are running, how fit they're looking, and everything like that. But match sim is where you start to talk about, you know, where players are playing on the field, what the structure is looking like, how certain players are playing. So last week on Friday, the mouth guards were in, the umpires were out at the field. We had a short match sim session, which is fantastic because it's only going to grow from there. In fact, we've got one on Friday, I believe, tomorrow at the time of recording. So if you want to get out to a game or a session, this Friday, I believe, is going to be match sim, and that's going to be the case for a lot of the weeks going forward. The match sim sessions are going to be later in the week. That is kind of replicating an AFL season week. You know, you don't play games on Wednesdays, you play them on Fridays and Saturdays, so you may as well, have the big training days, the high intensity match sim scenario days on those, those Fridays and Saturdays. So this Friday, I believe there's going to be a match sim, so that'll be fun. We'll focus pretty heavily on that going forward. And once the training sessions ramp up and the match sim turns away from being, simulation to actually practice matches and stuff like that, I might have some guests on the channel, some track watchers to discuss individual sessions. As for now, we're just, slowly getting into the match sim. This last Friday, the session was broken up a lot. You had running in between game like situations. A lot of the time it was a seniors versus reserves kind of vibes. It was the senior players, the best 23 players going up against younger fringe options, even VFL players. So they were just filling out the team. So it kind of gives you the vibe as to how we're building into it pretty slowly. But the good news is we are building into it, and there were apparently some impressive performances out there. So what I've heard, because I didn't see it with my own two eyes, I heard a lot about Jai Caldwell in the midfield. Obviously, he's going up against some leaner bodies. He was going up against Elijah Sardis and Dyson Sharp on the other team, but it's good that he is a presence in that midfield along with guys like Sam Durham. Isaac Kako was again really lively. He's had an awesome preseason. We talked about him on the channel in that preseason review with Fiona from Bomber Banter. He was her preseason MVP, and he is looking like a strong candidate to take that out again in this second block of the preseason. Down back, Ben Mackay was really imposing. There was so many raving about Ben Mackay and his strength in the contest and his intercepting ability. It's really good that he's overcoming that foot issue, touch wood, to hopefully play round one. There was apparently some impressive kind of surprise performances as well. Saad El Hawley continues to show promise and impress track watchers out at training, but also Archer Day Wicks. He's implemented himself into moments in training in a big way, apparently, and he's shown off a more gritty and determined side to his game. Going on with some more younger players, you guys want to hear about the draftees. There were Hussein Elach Kar bobbed up for a few goals early in the session. He kicked 2 goals, I think, in the first few minutes and was lively inside 50. Dyson Sharp was looking really confident and comfortable in the midfield, and Jacob Farrow was actually in the midfield as well at times at stoppages. And before the new year, I'll again on Fiona with Bomb Banter in that preseason review, but we were talking about how Farrow was possibly one of the players holding back a tad. That narrative seems to be flipping a bit. He's implementing himself or imposing himself in training a bit more. I've heard quite a few rave about his recent training performances, so that is really good because I think he could play round one this year, and I think he's a really good player for the future, hopefully, with that silky ball use in that back half or midfield potentially in the future as well. But yeah, still not full match sim sessions, so we're not going to talk about this particular one too much. Once the big sessions start occurring, I'll try and get some guests on, some track watchers to talk about the individual sessions. This match sim was often broken up for running and everything like that, so it's probably one of the lighter match sims you're going to see, considering it was the first one of the year. So plenty to like, but I won't go into it too much. I'll be talking about match sim a lot more in the coming weeks. Alrighty, injury news. Now the big news and the good news, I guess, as well, is Sullivan Robey. Now, he's obviously drafted drafted to the club in November, our prize draftee in the 2025 draft. He returns a positive hotspot scan when the club does their medical on him on his first day of training, so that is really unfortunate. The club then, of course, puts him on ice for the remainder of the year. Hotspots can lead to stress fractures, which is just not what you want at all. That can really damage careers. So the club puts him on ice. Their plan was always to reassess, at the end of or the start of 2026 and see if we can integrate him into training then. The good news is Sullivan Robey was spotted out on the hangar on Monday, not just standing around and juggling footies as he often does, or following Michael Hurley around the ground, but he was doing some running. It's the first time we've seen him doing running, I think, since his first day of training. Now, it was very light running, just short distance, slow movement stuff, and he did look pretty taxed afterwards, I hear, but it is a start. The fact that Sullivan Robey is running is really good news, and without confirmation from the club, because we haven't had anything official yet, I assume that it means he has returned positive scan results and that he will slowly integrate into training and build into more and more effort through the weeks. So I think we'll see a gradual build, obviously protecting his body a bit. He's a young player that we don't need for round one. We'd rather have him for, years and years. And I think as we count down to round one, which is now 2 months away, we can probably assume that Sullivan Robey might not be match fit. I'm not too bothered by that if it is the case. The club is going to be, it's going to continue to be extra cautious with Robey, and I think that is for the best with a young player. But the good news is he is now out there moving around. He is on his feet, not just juggling footies out there and standing around. He is out and running. Now he just has to build up fitness and get to a point where he can join in full training. It might take a few weeks, though. The club is going to be extra cautious with a young player like Sullivan Robey. They're also going to be extra cautious with Jordan Ridley. He is still not doing much. He's still out there running around. He had that minor hamstring injury in December last year. He was looking really good when I saw him out at training. He was doing really lots of running out there and doing some small kicking and marking drills. That's pretty much what he's doing now still. He's doing a lot of running. His training is mainly consisting of running, so he is looking fit. But I guess the thing with a player like Jordan Ridley, an older player, with all the soft tissue injuries, there's a difference between being fit and match fit. And Jordan Ridley right now is fit, but he probably isn't very match fit, given the fact he hasn't really joined in main training in, a couple of months now. So, yeah, he hasn't even really been touching footies in a meaningful way in the last couple of months since that setback. He will likely be training soon. I've said that for the last couple of weeks now, but he's fit. He's looking fit. The hamstring was apparently minor. I don't think there's been a setback. So, like with Robey, it might just be a gradual increase in effort to protecting a little bit. We obviously would rather Ridley last the year than train a couple of weeks earlier than he could. Aside from that, it's pretty much the same as it was last week. You've got Jones, Perkins, Setterfield, Bryan and Edwards all doing lots of running around the ground all together. They are joining in some drills here and there, which is really good, but none in proper main training as of yet. Lewis Hayes, he's still really not doing much. I believe there was a little setback at the end of last year, potentially. He was kind of out running about at some stage, and then he was mainly seen in the gym the last couple of weeks or month or so. So there has, I believe, been a setback with Lewis Hayes. I think it's a minor one. The club hasn't really commented on it yet, but I wouldn't hedge my bets on him returning in the first half of the year. Keep in mind that ACL was also done, not long before the halfway point of 2025 when he did it. So again, Lewis Hayes, younger player, only played half an AFL match, so they're going to be extra precautionary with these guys, and that's going to be the case with any further injuries we see as well. Let's say we see a setback to a guy with a soft tissue history. If it's a 4-week injury, they may well turn it into a 6 or 8 to be extra precautionary. They want these guys to last longer in the season, and the best way to do that is be precautionary. But the good news is everyone else is tracking well. We have a couple of more signings to the Bombers, not the AFL team, but the VFL team. I discussed the big spree, the spending spree that we went on at the end of last year. We've already added some players to the reserve setup, some highly rated players as well. We've added Jackson Binns from Carlton. He was delisted and added to our list. He took out the 2K time trial alongside the AFL players. He actually beat out Angus Clark in the 2K time trial. We also added Boston Dowling from Collingwood's VFL setup. He's with us, the big ruckman. And there's also guys like Christian Ferrinato and Nathan Wright who join us. But there are 2 more players who have joined Essendon in the last couple of days. The first one and the big one for me is Will Bella, the brother of Gold Coast AFL ruck Lauren Bella. Will is also a taller player, can play ruck, but also key forward as well. He was part of Gold Coast Academy in 2021, but missed out on the draft that year and has since been playing VFL footy for Coburg. But he was limited to just the 5 games last year after an impressive 2024 season. He's joined the Bombers and will likely be a taller utility type in the VFL. He's a bit undersized to be a full-time ruck. I think he's 195, 196 centimetres, but he's had some prominent hit-out games at times as well. So he's someone who can pinch hit and take some of the pressure off, guys like Vigo Vicentini early in the year, hopefully. The other signing is Charlie Naish. He missed out on the draft in 2023, a bit younger than Bella, so he's 21 now, I believe. He actually played school footy and talent league footy with Christian Ferrinato, who we signed to our VFL team at the end of last year. So we've got some friends in the team together, but yeah, a couple of more additions to Essendon's VFL setup. Alrighty, we also have some scheduling updates for our preseason matches. So it was confirmed a while ago that we were scheduled to play St Kilda in the Community Series game. That is on the 28th of February in Ballarat, Mars Stadium. So get out to that if you're in the area, or you don't have to be in the area, just get out to it if you want. We now have confirmation for our unofficial practice game that is taking place before the Community Series match against St Kilda. So the St Kilda game's on the 28th of February. 8 days before that, on the 20th of February, we are set to take on the Richmond Tigers at the Hangar, guys, at 10:30 a.m. We are playing at 10:30 a.m. I was going to try and get out to this game, the first unofficial game, to go see it, but I don't think I will now. That's going to mess around with work a little bit, but you guys, message your boss, tell them you're going to be sick that day, go check out the boys. It's a practice game at the Hangar against the Tigers, and now the Community Series game against St Kilda, that is going to be 4 quarters, that's going to be squads of 28 usually, so you get more of a look at what an AFL game will look like. These unofficial practice matches are usually all over the place. Sometimes they're 6 quarters, sometimes they're 8 quarters, sometimes they're 4 quarters for 30 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes. The two teams that play in each game, they decide what it's going to look like. Sometimes you have squads of 30, sometimes you have squads of 40. So we don't know what the details of the actual game itself is going to look like yet, but it's going to be on the 20th of February at the Hangar, 10:30 a.m, shocking time against the Richmond Tigers. Now, what we do know is that there are going to be some players unavailable for both these games, but more importantly for this, the 20th of February game against the Tigers. So obviously the ACL boys, Martin, Edwards, Brian, Hayes, they're not going to be playing. They won't be ready. You'd be willing to bet that Jones, Perkins, and Setterfield won't as well. Robey and Ridley, obviously positive news with their running and their injuries, but I doubt they'll be playing or risked in these games. And if they are, it would probably be the St Kilda game. Definitely not Robey, I'd say. Those players are all injured. Zach Merritt, no injury at the moment, but he will be playing State of Origin on February 14th, 6 days before this game. So I'm willing to bet that the Bombers would rest him for, they wouldn't want to risk him for a 6-day turnaround, so they'd rest him for the Richmond game and have him playing against St Kilda on the 28th of February. Obviously, these injuries aren't ideal. We've got how many players on the sidelines for these? 7 or 8, more maybe. The good news is it's going to give us a look at our squad depth. These squads for the scratch matches, the unofficial ones against Richmond, are usually larger. It's sometimes 30, sometimes more. So don't be surprised to see guys like Dyson Sharp, Jacob Farrow, maybe even Hussein or Kondagianis feature in these games, even for limited minutes. Last year, Reece Unwood played one of these early games, one of the unofficial games, and then didn't make his debut till later in the year. So yeah, you'll get a good look at the squad depth at young players. These games are really important to look at, and I'll be covering them on the channel as well. But yeah, February 20th at the Hangar, Essendon against Richmond. Go tell your boss you won't be working that day. Go check out the footy. And to finish it all off, guys, for those who didn't catch my recent NGA update that I posted on Tuesday, go check out the video if you want to find out more about our young Academy stars linked to the Bombers. But I did discuss a few days ago the Vic Metro hubs for the coming 2026 Championship Carnival. That is, of course, when the best young players from each state play off against each other in a little 4-game carnival to really just, impress recruiters. It's a great carnival. It's a great initiative, and I'm going to be following it closely on both these channels this year. But I did tell you a little bit early that we had 3 club-linked players attending the Vic Metro training hub. This is where you get all the players that are going to be playing in the carnival, hopefully, to train together early. But it's now been officially confirmed yesterday, so I'm going to bring it up again for you guys because it is officially news. So Blake Justice is at the Vic Metro hub and will be a very good chance to play champs footy this year. Without putting the moz on him, I'd expect that he plays most, if not all, games for the state. He was one of the better players in the under-17s showcase for Vic Metro last year. That was kind of, we knew that was going to be the case. He was always going to be in the Vic Metro hub and probably playing champs footy if he was fit. But the more exciting news, and this is what I revealed to you guys early on Tuesday before it was officially announced, but we do have 2 bottom age players there as well. These are players that aren't eligible for the 2026 draft, but the 2027 draft next year. So Kobe Buick, the hyped father-son prodigy, and Tavita Roden, who is also linked to Port Adelaide as a father-son, but Essendon's NGA. These guys are both training at the Vic Metro hub. This is really good news because these carnivals are really mainly for guys in their draft years, for 18-year-olds, to be invited to the carnivals so they can impress in their draft year. So the fact that these younger players, these bottom ages, are invited, it suggests that you're catching the eyes of recruiters. Vic Metro, in a squad of 30 plus, only invited 5 bottom age players. 2 of them are linked to Essendon. That is, of course, Kobe Buick and Tavita Roden. So that shows that these players are impressing. It doesn't mean that they're going to play games at champs. Quite often these players will, attend just the training and that's it. Sometimes they line up for just the one game, usually the last game of the carnival, but it would be really good to see them out there mid-year. We're going to be seeing Blake Justice if he's fit, I would say. Last year it was just Hassan Swade as top ages. So the fact that we've got Blake Justice in his 2026 draft year out there alongside 2 bottom age players, all teammates at the Calder Cannons as well, I think that is really good for the club. You can watch the recent video I made, the NJ update, to learn more about these players and more, guys like Mustafa Darwish as well. I'll be posting regular academy updates monthly. But guys, that is that. That is a super quick news update. I've had to refrain myself and not yap too much. We've kept it under 3 hours, which is fantastic. Guys, I'll have more videos coming out. I'll have some guests on the channel next week, so get keen for that. I'm really excited for a couple of the videos I have coming out. I'll also be on other channels, I believe, in the coming weeks. I'll be, keep an eye on Pommy and Oz, keep an eye potentially on Bomber Banter as well. But guys, that is that for now. That is the news update done. I'll see you probably on the weekend with another video. Cheers for watching. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and as always, guys, go Bombers.